Hello guys, and welcome back to Slovakia as the manager here of Podbrezova in the Slovakian First Division in Football Manager 23, where, as I'm sure you're all aware by now, it is our quest to win every top tier league in the European nations in the game. We've already ticked quite a few off the list, finding things quite difficult in Slovakia though. Podbrezova have not got the best team, and we've not had the best start to the season. We'll run through what we've done. There might be one or two signings since you were last here as well. In fact, we'll have a quick start there. In terms of ins, yes indeed there has been. There's been Ibanez has come in as a backup left wing back. We've also brought in Antonio Bragila. He's on loan from Inter. Centre half, very, very good centre half. Nice little bit of business that we've done there. He's not had the best of starts to life here in Slovakia though. Josef Novotny is a bit more squad depth as well in the centre of midfield. Can also play as a defensive midfielder and an attacking midfielder. Again, more squad depth. Ante Barisic is another sort of left-sided wing-back player. Again, a bit more cover in that sort of position. As for how things have gone though, of course you were here on the opening day of the season, the disappointing 1-0 defeat to Michalovci. We then took on Dunstreda, the team who didn't give us a job in the summer, and we comfortably beat them 2-0. The £1 million signing Yusuf Tash with both the goals in the 10th and the 87th minute. We restricted to Dunstreda to just the 2 shots with none on target. It was a very, very good performance by Podbrezova all round. Mike Mikkelsen and Sedlak, the 2 poor players, Lloydel also didn't play very well. But a nice comfortable 2-0 win there. Unfortunately, we went on a 3-game losing streak then to, first of all, the defending champions in Trnava. Agbo popped up in the 91st minute to break our hearts after a very, very close game. Probably deserved the draw, maybe the 1-0 defeat, but not in the 91st minute. It was absolutely heartbreaking. Zelenia were next, a 2-0 defeat in this one. We didn't really threaten. Anton Macho and Richard Boateng with the goals for Zelenia. We didn't perform. We're not very threatening going forward, and as a result you'll see that I've actually changed the formation again. I'm just trying to get something to work with this Podbrezova squad. We've gone from previous nations where we've scored lots of goals and conceded far too many to now to the point where we're not scoring, and it was our 3rd game in a row without finding the back of net. This time against Rozom Berok, Thomas Rihak with the only goal of the game in the 72nd minute. Again, we didn't trouble their goal really. And we followed that up with another goalless display against Zlate Moravci. Only the 1 shot on target again. Probably about right for a goalless draw, to be honest. There wasn't really much action in the game. We did bounce back with a win against newly promoted Press-Off though. It wasn't very comfortable though. We did restrict them shots wise. They didn't have a single one on target, but we only scored the one ourselves, and it was Juraj Sedlak, one of the centre halves, who actually bagged the goal. Another disappointing performance, and we're looking very, very limp in front of goal, it has to be said. And we failed to score in the next game again against Slovan and Bratislava. They scored 3 against us, Kovac with 2, Kukunen with the other 1. We had the 5 shots on target. We actually played quite well, but we didn't find the back of the net. Slovan Bratislava obviously played slightly better. In fact, I think looking at it there, 3-0 is probably a bit harsh if you look at the match stats. We had a lot of clear-cut chances. I believe we hit the woodwork quite a few times as well in this game. But ultimately, we just couldn't find the back of the net. And our star £1 million striker is starting to look like a little bit of a flop. Thankfully, we did bag some goals in the next game, and it was in the cup. You may notice a slightly changed formation. This is not the one that we're going with, but he managed 36 shots in this one with a 5.92 XG. We absolutely battered Lucinec, but they are a non-league team here in Slovakia. They're below the 2nd tier. Comfortable win. But we are now sort of back to form. We're on a little bit of a winning streak in the table. Admittedly against teams who we should probably be beating. The first one was Trencin, Miklas Rusanak with the goal for Trencin to give them the lead. Pavel Simko and Marcel Lloydel with the 2 late goals for Podbrezova, but it's a game that we did actually perform quite well in, apart from Marco Antonio, who had an absolute shocker at the right wing back position. I Football Manager wing-backs just don't seem to perform. I don't know why. But we picked up the win away from home, which was good. Next game was at home against Skalica. Mario Weiss opened the scoring, and Yusuf Tash finally got himself on the score sheet in a very, very comfortable victory in the end. Again, you can see that the formation has changed again. We've gone with a very, very traditional Football Manager 4-2-3-1 Gegenpress style, which is it's been overpowered in Football Manager for quite some seasons now. So as in terms of the league table, we currently sit in 8th position, which is probably about where we should be. Dunstrada, the team who are predicted to finish second, I believe, find themselves just ahead of us. The team who denied us the opportunity to go and manage there. But you can see in terms of the goals, we've only scored 8 goals in 10 games, which has been our real problem this season. Defensively, we're looking pretty solid, only conceding the 10. But just a lack of firepower up front is hampering our season. But we are only the 4 points behind the European spots, which was our target for the start of the season. The boards is to avoid relegation. We're currently 6 points clear of that, of the relegation playoff. But my personal target is in here. So in terms of today's game, we are taking on Dubnica. They currently sit 6 points behind us. They're on a really, really bad run of form. We are a third of the way through the season, which is why it is Dubnica. This is the tactics that we have decided on. It is a positive 4-2-3-1. Like I say, a very gegenpress sort of tactic, which, as I've said, is quite popular in Football Manager. It's a sweeper keeper with 2 wing-backs, 2 ball-playing defenders, 2 defensive midfielders, then followed by 2 inside forwards, a shadow striker and an advanced forward. So it's quite attacking and quite defensive at the same time. It's looking good. Obviously, the players are going to take their time to grow into a tactic, but I am a little bit disappointed by Yusuf Tash. Our first ever £1.1 million signing in the save in our 21st year in terms of actual calendar years. He's been a little bit disappointing with just the 4 goals in 10 games, 5 and 11 overall, and a 6.79 rating in the league. It's not been overly impressive. But yeah, let's get into today's game. At Dubnica, the opponents hoping for a decent result, and this is the lineup that we're going with for today. It is going to be Ondrejka in goal, Kiss as the wing-back on the right-hand side. I'd like to play Marco Antonio there, but he's not familiar in that position whatsoever. He's more of a midfielder. I may start training him to learn as a defensive right-back. Sedlak, our signing, £325,000, is one of the starting centre-halves alongside on loan Braglia. Looks very, very good, does Antonio. Quite excited to see what he can do. Kukuka is coming in as the left-back for today, the left wing-back. He is possibly the only recognised left-sided defender at the club. In terms of the 2 defensive midfielders, Chyla moves forward from his central defensive position into the defensive midfield position. He's actually pretty decent there. If we put him on support, his first touch lets him down. Passing maybe a little bit weak, but everywhere else he's not too bad. And he's alongside Adoyan, again, another one, defensive midfielder on support. First touch again lets him down. But again, not too bad. We do have options there, of course. We've got Gutenberg Gessinger, who I am training to play as a defensive midfielder. He can also play as the shadow striker. In terms of the shadow striker, it is Mario Weiss, who is obviously listed. He's unhappy. He wants to leave the club, but he can play as a shadow striker. Finishing, the only weakness. There's a lot of weaknesses in this team, to be fair, which is why we're 8th in the league. Simcoe is starting as the inside forward on the right-hand side. Fairly decent for that sort of position. Long shots is a bit of a downer, but he's got some good pace and good agility. He's got some good finishing and dribbling skills. So he's starting there. He can rotate around this front as well. Fai, who we initially brought in as a left wing-back, is going to be the inverted winger on the right-hand side. He's got the ability to play there, but he hasn't really shined there so far, as the 32-year-old. But we're going to keep giving him a go. We don't really have another player for that position. Mikkelsen could possibly play there, but he's not right-footed, so he finds himself out of the team at the minute. And then up top it is Yusuf, the Turk. Like I said, being disappointing so far in terms of his XG is at 5.78. He's underperforming. His expected goals per 90 minute is only 0.47, so it's not great. He's more than 2 whole games per goal in his career, which throughout our saves so far, we've had strikers who bang them in for fun. We've had 40-plus goal a season strikers. So that is the lineup for today, hoping this 4-2-3-1 can actually do us some good. We're coming up against a 4-4-2 here. One of our former players in Hook there coming up against us, but it would be nice to pick up this result against a team below us in the league in Dubnica. Keep some pressure on the teams above us, particularly Dunstradey. I just want to beat Dunstradey for them not giving us the job. And we do have an early highlight. It is Kiss on the right hand side with a throw in, finds Mario Weiss into Chyla. Chyla with the ball across towards Fai, gets his head on it, but it's a poor header. Really needs to be hitting the target there with that header, does Fai. A very poor header. Simcoe with the free kick for Dubnica. Chyla wins the header, finds Mario Weiss into Kakuka. Kakuka comes back, finds a Braglia. Bringing the ball out of defence, finds Kakuka inside to Adunyan, but we've had the ball pinched by Kokas. Now Chrenko over the top towards Kokas again, and Dubnica in behind us again, and Michaelis Kokas gives Dubnica the lead. Slovakia is proving tough so far, guys. This is the toughest challenge I've faced yet in this save in Slovakia. Sedlak, though, cuts that one out, finds Odrejka. Odrejka goes long, looking for Fai to win that. He does win it, nods it on towards Yusuf. Now Yusuf's in. He's finding himself in the penalty area. Can he pull it across? It's somehow trickled in at the far post. It's been given as an own goal by Daniel Bala. I didn't quite see what happened there, but we forced the ball over the line regardless. It's a good flick on by Fai. Yusuf runs onto it, gets himself inside the penalty. Probably gone a little bit too wide for the opportunity here, and I think he's tried to pull it back to his teammate there, and the defenders helped it into his own net. I'm not complaining. It's a goal. It's gone in. It's 1-1. Free kick, Weiss on the left-hand side, looking for that back post. We've been awarded a penalty. Sabao was pushing a Braglia, and it's going to be the left-back Kakuka to take the penalty. Steps up, and the keeper went the right way. Keeper did go the right way, but Yaroslav Kakuka grabs his first goal of the season from the penalty spot, and we've turned the game on its head after disappointingly going behind 1-0 early on. It's a good penalty in the end. It is right in the corner. It's got enough power on it to beat the goalkeeper, who did guess right, but unfortunately he couldn't. Well, fortunately for us, he couldn't quite get there. We're looking to pile the misery onto Dubnica, though, with another highlight, and it is a Sedlak with a free kick inside of our own half. Goes short to Kiss. Kiss looking over the top towards Yusuf. Yusuf's in behind here. Can he get his effort away? He can, but he's blazed it over the bar. His finishing is not very good, I've found, with Yusuf. On the stroke of half-time now, the Dubnica with the opportunity to get back into the game. It's Adam with the free kick, and thankfully it's gone just over the bar. Goalkeeper was scrambling there, but we are in at half-time. We are in charge of this game. We've had a lot more of the ball. We've had more shots. We've just restricted them to just the one shot on target. Of course, they did score it, though, unfortunately, but we are performing much, much better. Going forward, we're not doing great. Yusuf's having another poor game. But it's the win that counts at the end of the day. It's the 3 points. I don't really care how we get it, who scores the goals, as long as we pick up those 3 points, keep the pressure on the teams above us. Zlate Moravci currently occupying that last European place, currently getting beat. But Adam with the deep free kick, looking for Urban. It's headed clear by Fai. Kavari with the effort again, but the goalkeeper's struggling to get to that one again, but thankfully it has gone over the bar, and Dubnica seem to be growing into this game more and more as it goes on. Right, Podbrezova coming forward now. We've made a couple of changes. We've put Marazon on the left. We've brought Gessinger on as the shadow striker as well. We do have the ball here inside the Dubnica half here, but we come back to Braglia, looking over the top. The defenders miss it. Kakuka's in. Can he grab his second? No, he's blazed it. He's absolutely blazed it. Needs a bit more composure than that. Does the left back, although it's not really his job to score the goals. Maybe he could have looked for a teammate. But we're approaching the final 20 minutes. It would be great to grab another goal, because anything can happen in Football Manager. Dubnica will probably score in the 95th minute to deny us the win in the 3 points. But as things stand, we are moving 9 points clear of that bottom 3, which is the aim of the board. It's the aim, it's the overall aim for the club, really, is just to avoid relegation. And there is the full-time whistle. We have completed the victory. Probably rather fortunate in the end. We did sort of dominate the ball and whatnot. We had the more efforts. We just need to start finding the back of the net, and we need Yusuf Tash to really start finding his feet here in Slovakia. The young Turk, he is a young man, so I'm not going to heap too much pressure on him, but he does really need to start scoring. But we've moved to just the 2 points off the European places now, which is great. I can't really ask for much more than that at this stage of the season. We're in decent form. You know, we've only lost the one in the last 4 victories, 1 defeat to obviously the best team in the division in Slovan Bratislava. In terms of job security, I imagine that the Dunstrada job is starting to become insecure. Indeed it is. They probably wish to give me the job now, don't they? I'm in two minds as to whether to go for it again if it does come up. Look at their wage budget. It's nearly triple ours. It's 2.5 times more hours. Try the money in the bank as well. I think if it does become available, I'll probably go for it again because they are predicted to finish second. They're actually the second best team in Slovakia, so they should be doing much better than they are. So if it comes available, I will go for it again. Get us up that table as quick as we can. In terms of when we're back, guys, it'll be another 10 games time. The league does split as well, so we can't see all of the fixtures yet, but it's probably going to be, you know, sort of around about here. Trenchin, could even be Dubnica or Skalica again. We'll see how things go. Guys, thank you for watching. Please remember to hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button as well. It does help me out massively, it really does. And I appreciate all of your support so far. But guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode.